y'all for tuning in today. Let's get started. Today I wanted to talk about making a conscious effort to focus on who and what you like. Meaning the people we like and the things we like. Making a conscious effort to do that because it's so easy to focus on what bothers us or what we don't like. And as humans, we tend to set our focus on what we don't like. And we like to ruminate and we like to tell people all about it. I don't like this. I don't like that. Here's what I can't stand. Blah, 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 blah. And it gets redundant. And overall, it starts to affect our moods. Because overall mood is affected by what we speak. I don't care what anybody says. You have your voice all the time playing in your head, and it's feeding you. And it's feeding you either positivity or negativity. So you have to reprogram your way of thinking so that you're not consistently focused on the negative that's going on. Now, there's already tons in this world of negativity going on in the outside world. But we just have to be very cognizant of what's going on in our heads. For example, you can have a great day when you're at home. You're telling yourself all these positive things. You're writing down what you're grateful for, which is a good habit, very good habit. You're looking at uplifting videos and you're just in an overall good mood. And you notice how sometimes when you step out into the world or drive out into the world, it just takes that one thing to kind of set you off and put you in a negative space. I'm going to say, for example, someone may cut you off and then all of a sudden you're mad and then you have to go tell everybody how this person cut you off. They did this, they did that. And I'm guilty of it too. But I'm just aware, more self-aware now. And I try to catch myself when I do this because I said, you know what? That person took away probably 1 minute, if that, 30 seconds when they cut me off. And now it's filtering into my whole entire day. And I refuse. And you should refuse too, because if you think about it, it takes that one little thing to sometimes make you think that you're having a bad day, but in reality, it was just a bad moment. And it didn't necessarily, it could have been anybody. So we also internalize it thinking that it happened to us. No, it would have happened to anyone who was driving by that spot at that specific time. So it wasn't personal. So we have to get into the habit of not personalizing negative things and not constantly speaking on them and focusing on them. How about it happens, a negative experience happens, and you just let it go. I'm not saying you can't talk about it at all, but maybe you limit yourself to telling it to one person so that you only have to relive it one time. Because that's another thing. We're reliving things in our head. Why do you think the past affects people so much? Only when they acknowledge it. Only when they reflect back to the past. Only when you reflect back to your past can it affect your current or your future. And all of that is in the power of your thinking. I credit some people who are somewhat delusional to a certain extent. You have to be, because you have to move on from certain situations or they're going to keep replaying in your head. Therefore, they're going to keep affecting your mood. So this ties into the fact that words hold energy. When you feel happy, you're saying happy things, you're saying good things, and you're focusing on the good. When you're feeling angry, you're doing the opposite. Okay? That goes without saying. So my challenge for you and myself during this month of September And it doesn't have to necessarily stay in September. Let's carry it on into our daily lives. Let's just start it now in September. Is to talk about the things that we do like. Talk about what we do like. I'm going to tell you a story that always sticks out in my head. There's this girl that I follow on my timeline, and just like anybody else, when she's having or posting some of her life events, you get to follow along and see the story as it unfolds. So this particular girl, she posted her engagement. It was a really happy time. Cool. She posted her bachelorette festivities. Cool. And then she proceeded to post her wedding. Now, all of her moments were really, really happy, or so it seemed from her posts, or her captions, and, everyone in her comments. And I was one congratulating her, of course. But one thing I noticed is that on her wedding day, she posted to Facebook on her wedding day. And it wasn't a happy post. Yeah, she was happy she was getting married, but she also expressed how upset she was that certain people did not show up to her wedding on that day. And I just remember feeling so sorry for her, because I said, wow, she allowed the people that don't matter, obviously, if they chose to RSVP and then not show, obviously they don't matter and they really could care less about you unless an emergency popped up. So I said, she's giving her good energy, her good focus to people who clearly don't give a crap about her. And that is so sad, because she should be focused on the hundreds. I don't know how many people she had at her wedding. I'm just giving a ballpark. But she should have been focused on the hundreds of people who were there and showing up for her. Those should have been the only people that got her focus on that day. And I'm not saying she's a bad person because she posted about this. She was hurt, obviously, in that moment. But what I'm saying is making a conscious effort to focus on who you like, what you like, people that bring you joy, things that bring you joy, people who show up for you or who are showing up for you in that moment. It kind of X's out, well, it does. It X's out those people who are not showing up for you and all of those negative feelings that come along with that. And I'll never forget that story, because it just makes me see that she was experiencing a very happy moment, which should have been a very happy moment for her. And she allowed her mind to go to the people who were not there. Girl, you got people there who love and care for and adore you, and you should have put all of your energy and focus on them at that moment, at your moment, and made it about you, your husband, your wedding day, your family, and your friends, because obviously they care. They are there for you. So in that moment, what would have been more effective for her would have been to maybe thank you so much to everyone who showed up. I am so loved. I feel so loved right now. I feel so adored right now. But instead, she was expressing, there's so many people who RSVP'd for this wedding, and I don't see their faces here today. They did not show up, and that pisses me off. And I'm really upset right now. But you know what? Going forward, I don't want anybody to say, and whatever. And those are not the exact words she used, but that's what I gathered from her post. But it's just a reminder to consciously focus on the positive, because it's all in the power of the mind. All in the power of the mind. You can go left, you can go right. You can go negative, the negative route, or you can go the positive route. Do what feels best for you, and do what's best for your overall mental well-being, which is to focus and speak about and talk about the positives. I mean, we just can't let the negatives consume us. It's kind of unrealistic to say don't speak about it at all, don't talk about it at all, but choose when you do. In the moment, in that moment of her wedding, she should have chosen to speak about the people who were there, not the people who were not there. See how that kind of gives them the power? That gives them the power. And the way my mind goes, I'm thinking anyone who did that intentionally to upset that girl, they kind of succeeded in that moment. They succeeded in that moment because they got her focus. She talked about them. They would have been cast with a friendly ghost to me. I would not have mentioned them, and if my plan was to never speak to them again, then that's just what happened. I wouldn't have gave them any shine, any airtime, especially during my wedding day. Are you kidding me? As always, I hope you gained a lot from this message. Please visit my website at www.kaluxcoaching.com, book a one-on-one session, purchase my ebook, and I want you guys to take care, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.